Yeah, I just got thinking the other day about the era of 2010s feminism, which I call hashtag feminism. And they had a list of pet issues that really aren't talked about as much these days, which included, armpit hair, free bleeding, rape culture,
Wait, I
um,
thought that
period blood art.
Kamala's stepdaughter was
What
bringing
else?
armpit hair back.
Well, no, it's not a talking point anymore, okay? This was all third wave feminism. And one of those big pet issues of theirs at the time was catcalling. And it was talked about almost ubiquitously among feminist online circles. And it seemed to me blown out of proportion, massively blown out of proportion. And all of these women were basically saying this is a key component of rape culture, which keeps women too afraid for their lives and their safety to walk around in public, especially at night. A lot of other people retorted that that had more to do with the migrant influx than anything than misogyny or patriarchy, but that's besides the point now. I just wanted to revisit the issue and do a bit of a reflection on it now that the discourse has died down, because I used to be against catcalling and now I realize I'm not against it anymore. Not in principle. It depends on how you do it, what you say, the setting, the time of day, just all sorts of different factors.
Okay.
So it could be inappropriate or acceptable depending on a lot of different contexts.
So you want to watch this video first?
Yeah, so this was the most famous example from back in 2014. This was a YouTube video that has now amassed 52 million views called 10 Hours of Walking in NYC as a Woman. And the point of it was to demonstrate the widespread nature of street harassment, as they called it.
Okay.
Here was
How you doing today? That's not good.
Wow.
They're telling her to smile.
Hey, what's up, girl? How you doing? Somebody's acknowledging you. They're beautiful. She said thank you. Hey, baby. Hey, beautiful. How are you this morning?
Have a nice evening.
Nice. Hey. Damn.
Beautiful. God bless. Sexy American Eagle. Hello, good morning. God bless you. Have a good day, all right?
This one's bad. He just keeps walking next to her.
Doing good?
Hey, look at that. It's $5,000.
This guy is saying because I'm ugly.
You don't speak? Can I give you my number? Talk to me? No? Too ugly for you?
What's up, man? How you doing?
She really got her steps in that day. That was impressive. 10 hours straight.
Yes.
No breaks. But at the end, it gives you this PSA. 100 plus instances of verbal street harassment took place within 10 hours involving people of all backgrounds. This doesn't include the countless winks, whistles, etc. If you want to help, donate to Holla Back, a non-profit dedicated to ending street harassment. Gee, I wonder where people's money went when they ended up donating to that.
Yeah. Chalk.
But that went viral. It was everywhere. And the point being, it was supposed to draw awareness to this social ill. And actually, I think it got woke backlash at the time from people who are already feminists. They were angry at the woman who recorded the video and the guy who directed it because it didn't feature enough white men as perpetrators. Because as you can tell in that video, most of the catcallers are racial minorities.
Yeah.
I don't think there was even one example of a white man in that video. But they just claim, oh, we cut that out. We cut that out of the video.
Where he traveled did another $20.
The first person to promote third wave feminism was in 1992 and was Rebecca Walker, Rebecca Leventhal, and she's Jewish, by the way. Okay. I've never heard of that person, but thanks for the info. But yeah, the director of 10 Hours in NYC had to respond to these allegations of racism at the time and defend himself. They say they would have loved for more white men to be in it.
Of course.
So this guy's name was, well, the girl in the video is named Shoshana Roberts.
Okay.
But this is the director, Rob Bliss. He has been criticized for being racially biased because a majority of the males in the video were not white. He admitted that he edited out a lot of white men from the video, of course.
Did he say why?
He said it didn't end up being the perfect representation of everything that happened. He said the white males were cut from the final edit because the city's noise pollution meant most of the footage was unusable.
So they weren't.
Isn't that convenient?
Outspoken enough or something?
It's convenient, huh? But yeah, they say, I didn't think about how people would take my quote. I guess I was a bit naive, but like I said, we had lots of issues with sirens, but that also happened for everyone else. Wind and rain difficulties don't discriminate against any one race.
Okay.
I wanted this video to be non-controversial and as neutral as I could possibly make it. But that didn't work even for the feminists at the time who would have supported the message. And I just want to find out from both of you, have you ever catcalled a woman?
No.
Phil's not sure.
Maybe.
You're not sure?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You just don't know?
I drank a lot for a long time.
So if you did, then it would have been when you were inebriated.
Likely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it would probably so I saw your tweet about this the other day, and I was going to reply with, what exactly was the tweet again?
My first conundrum was about whether it's actually effective.
Oh yeah, and my reply to that was, it's pretty effective if you're hollering at someone in line for your show from the bus.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty effective.
Understandable. Not most situations, but
yeah,
describes yours. Sure.
Yeah.
My question was like, I don't know, do any of the men who catcall have a thought process that like if you just do it enough times it'll eventually get you a number?
I honestly think it's like, look, I think it's the pre-Tinder version of swiping right on every single one.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like swipe right, swipe right, you know.
You're right.
You know, like just if you're throwing the widest net, you know.
Right, but has it ever worked? Like, what is the evolutionary biology?
The meme would literally be like, it finally works. She stops and talks to him, and he's like, "What now?"
Yeah, it's like it's a dog chasing a car, you know. But yeah, that was my first question about it, and then my second question was, do women actually find it creepy, or do they find it flattering, or neither?
That depends on how nice the bus is.
Oh, okay. The bus is an essential part of this equation.
That honestly, that depends on if the woman finds the man attractive or not. Like, if a man hollered at a woman and he looked like Brad Pitt, and the woman saw him and found him attractive, it wouldn't occur to her that it was catcalling.
I see.
You know what I mean? It wouldn't be like, oh my God, this guy's catcalling me. She'd be like, hey. It would be straight to, that guy's attractive. Like, the idea of the whole catcalling dynamic would not happen because she would immediately be like, oh, this isn't offensive. He's not scary. There's none of the negative connotations because I find him attractive.
I see.
Catcalling is only bad. It's like that meme of like the guy leaning over and saying, "Hey, Margaret," and then she's like calling human resources, and then the attractive guy's like, "Hey," it says, "Hey, Margaret," and she's like, it's like that is 100% real. Like women, and it's because of evolution. But like that's true. If women find a guy attractive, like all the normal thing or all the things that would be creepy just don't exist.
I'd like to call attention, though it's off topic, to his reference to Brad Pitt. Remember, to this day, it's 2025, and Brad Pitt and George Clooney are still the examples people give when they want to give you generic, handsome male.
It's funny.
Yep.
Because I never thought Brad Pitt was attractive, but that's just me. I want to read.
I don't know anybody that's like.
The point is like it's
that's
still the example they use in a TV show is if it's like, well, he's no George Clooney.
Yeah.
Even though it's 2025, and that's not really the most relevant example.
Isn't George Clooney still attractive though?
I don't know.
He's still he's still a handsome dude. Yeah.
Okay.
Not his prime. These were some responses from women that I got, which said they actually would prefer catcalling, not the new age we live in.
Look,
where men are not allowed to.
Some of those ones in that video go past catcalling.
Oh yeah,
and become
guys walking next to her like
intimidation,
that.
harassment. 5 minutes of walking is harassment.
Fuck that guy. That's why I was saying it depends on who it is, what they're saying, what they're doing, what time of day it is.
Keep in mind, if she was if it wasn't for a social experiment and she was not attracted, or she was attracted to him, there would not have been 5 minutes of walking awkwardly.
Sure,
it would have been like 5 minutes of walking together, and I met this nice guy, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So.
But one person replied to me saying, I miss catcalling. Our mothers decided it was offensive, so now guys can't compliment us without worrying they'll lose their job.
That's 100% true.
I mean, that's kind of a reach. Are you going to lose your job?
If someone if someone were to approach a woman and the woman did not reciprocate, and it is completely within a reasonable fear to say she finds his social media and puts him on blast, and he could lose his job from it. It's not.
I would love to
probably
see an
not
example
likely.
of that.
It's probably not likely, but it's a completely reasonable expectation from guys, because guys, remember, people. It doesn't have to actually have happened for people to make the assumption that it will, right? So dudes have definitely lost their jobs for saying things to women outside of work.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna need to find the examples of this happening.
Again, I'm not saying
I hear it so often.
I'm not saying that oh, wait a minute, what are you saying?
I hear people say that scenario happens so often. I don't see specific examples.
My point isn't that specific scenario needs to happen. My point is it's reasonable for dudes who are already apprehensive to be like, this could happen.
Sure.
It's not worth it's not worth the risk.
I also got a response from Brittany Hugaboom saying, I asked some guys once and they said they just want the girl to know she's being complimented. Colonel Kurtz responded and said, it gets a loud F off from me. Maybe that gives them a hard on. Part of the appeal might be that the women aren't interested, but I can't pretend to understand the male psyche enough to know for sure. But yeah, some were saying they find it creepy and they hate it. Others were saying that it's a compliment. It truly depends on who's saying it. The problem is, well, here's the conundrum. It's mostly non-white men who are doing the catcalling. And every time that a white man has complimented me in public, he just says it in a normal speaking voice and has a conversation with me. Which is probably more successful anyway than catcalling.
Conversations are way less offensive than, yo, what's up, baby?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, whenever you see these examples in television and movies for the last 20 years, it's done in the most egregiously over-the-top way. Not even in the way like the guy following her around, which I think would be shown in a completely different way. That would be shown as dangerous and threatening, whereas most of the time it just comes off as overly misogynistic and you know, objectifying. Whereas, would you even call the other version of it catcalling? It's almost like catcalling is supposed to carry the negative connotation. And what you're talking about, where somebody compliments you, is not catcalling. It's simply a compliment followed by a conversation.
There's a tad bit of humble bragging going on, though, because all of these women are like, I get catcalled like all the time. Like, I just wish that I weren't so desirable. I just walk around and I can't escape men making advances at me.
It's like
it's hell. It's
Listen,
a living hell.
Women, if you're having this problem, I have a great solution. Go to Crumble. Go to Crumble Cookie and go every day and eat as much as you can. This will stop.
You will stop getting catcalled.
And you'll enjoy the entire process, because Crumble Cookie is delicious, man.
Actually, knowing that some of the preferences of men out there, you you never know. That might actually increase the level of catcalling.
I don't know about increase.
We have a 20 from
Change the
OJ for
dynamic.
me. Orange juice is the best juice. This guy's just really passionate about orange juice. Love that for you. So I want to look at the current state of like fear mongering around catcalling. This woman, Sophie Sandberg, runs an organization, or actually two rather. She is the founder of both Chalk Back and Catcalls of NYC. And essentially what they do is they receive submissions from women on Instagram DM about places they were catcalled, what was said, what happened, how they responded. And she says, my team gathers submissions via Instagram, and then we go to those spots with chalk and write out what was said alongside the hashtag Stop Street Harassment. And I, looking at the Instagram, was shocked to find out that this account is still actively posting to this day. Even though this is no longer a trendy issue, she really committed to the bit. So here were some of the examples. If we can read them out loud, I'm not sure. One of them says, a guy at a bar turned to me and said, do you want to F me? Because I would F you so hard. That was one of them. They just quote what was said to them on the street. There were some that were really messed up that I cannot repeat.
Yep.
Another one says, touched, groped on a train and bus several times, don't feel safe. Yep. Another one said, have a drink with me. I said no. He threw the bottle at me.
Whoa.
These are some of the most extreme examples.
That's not acceptable behavior, gentlemen.
Of course not. But that's the thing. That's not catcalling. That's a crime.
Yeah, that's assault.
Yeah.
You know, and like some of the things they were saying were threats. You're also not legally allowed to do that.
Correct.
It's just when I'm saying there's more nuance to it, you can say hey beautiful and it's not the end of the freaking world. Like you don't need to act like a victim when some rando complimented you. You actually don't even have to respond. Just keep walking, stay strapped, be aware of your surroundings. Probably not a good idea to walk around cities at night.
That's the pragmatic answer, yeah. Like, the issue with feminism when it comes to that topic is the utopian view of it should be, you should be able to do it without worrying about it versus the realistic worldview, which says that would be great, but that's not the world we live in because evil people will always exist. And then what usually happens is those with the more utopian worldview get upset at the pragmatism of people who say, well, that's not the world we live in, so here's how you can prevent it from happening. And that's a fight that will go on until the end of time.
And similarly, I can sit here and wish that we still lived in a society where men could openly feel comfortable openly approaching women that they're interested in. But me having that pie in the sky idea doesn't do anything to change reality.
Correct.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.